on
He's
a
doing
washing
good.
machine.
He,
I met him the other day.
That's all. That's good to know.
That's a good skill to have, actually.
I had him chainsawing. I had him doing some chainsawing. He kind of got a little worn out.
Oh, Lordy, it happens.
He's doing good though. Overall, I'm very lucky. He's
Alrighty.
doing well.
We fixing to be ready,
They was waiting on you. It's 6 o'clock.
sir?
It's 6 o'clock.
Well,
It is.
it's that, and it's no respect for the people who
Ready?
serve and try to do.
We're going to call the regular city council meeting for the city of Cherokee Village, March 20th, 2025 to order. If you'll stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would like to recognize a moment of silence, please. Roll call, please, Miss Clerk.
Harrison.
Here.
Rachel Tatum. Thompson. Martin.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Ishmael.
Here.
Jeff Tatum. Roland.
Here,
Mayor, Clerk, and Attorney in present.
Any public comments or questions on the agenda items? Oh, well, we gotta have the approval agenda, see. Look
I
here,
make a
you,
motion we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Jason, last name.
Low.
Lowe. Yeah, okay. Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Lowe to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed, like signs. Motion passes. Any public comments or questions on the agenda items? Had a few minutes to look over the minutes from the last meeting. Any corrections or?
I move that we accept them as presented.
A second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Ms. Harrison to accept minutes as minute as typed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All nays. All opposed. Motion passes. We didn't have a correspondence come in late, didn't it, Miss Penny? It didn't make it on the agenda, did it? Yeah, okay. It'll be on next month. Financial report. Had a moment to look it over. I will say that, I like looking at the graphs because the graphs show trends. I hope the trend that we're in stays true. I know we're a little bit above even where we was expected to be, so the sales tax money, road turnback money, still, we're doing good with that. On expected curves. Any questions on the financial report on anything? Alrighty, get into the mayor's report. I'd actually typed a short one, but I have an addendum that I'll put on here. But it says the March 2025 City of Cherokee Village Mayor's Report. I want to remind people that with the spring approaching, please be aware of the wind and check to see if we are under a burn ban before lighting a fire. If you have any questions, call City Hall Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 870-257-5522, or Basehart Fire Station, 870-257-2304. But remember, if the firefighters are out on a call, they will not be able to answer. The road construction continues on out in front of City Hall. The construction superintendent has informed me that the road closure will begin, the next road closure, which is the northernmost bridge at the intersection of Flathead and Cherokee Road, right out here in front of the old gas station. That road closure will take place on July the 7th, so as to avoid the July 4th holiday. I was told that it'll probably take about the same amount of time as the last, to expect at least 90 days when it's closed. That road closure will affect the intersection of Flathead Drive and Cherokee Road, the main intersection. The only access will be through the side parking lot, which would be a private parking lot, so that would be up to the private owners to whether they allow traffic or not. So please, if you live on Flathead Drive or have, plan accordingly for a closure for that amount of time. Also, I've been talking with Mr. James Gilley. He's the owner of the Plantation Park home of the Happy Camper. He brought to my attention the need for extending the trails at Tohai Park. He is an avid hiker and also has friends that ride the bikes. Said Mr. Gilley, with a background in construction, used some of his contacts and found a state grant through the Arkansas Departments of Parks and Tourism called Great Strides Program, Trails for Life. This grant can be used to extend the trails that are already in place. He has talked with an engineering firm, he's done all this with my blessings, that will do the work at no upfront cost to the city. They will get reimbursed through the grant if we're chosen to receive the grant. I've talked to Mr. Gilley. He has agreed to give the right-of-way around his property for the trail extension, which would be part of Potawatomi Drive, Airport Road, and Hospital Drive, which is going to add about 5,000 feet. It'll add almost a mile onto the trails that we already have. So I think it would be good for the people. I'd like to say that, because that Tohai Trail gets used quite a bit for walking and hiking. I also want to thank, I know this is not part of my mayor's report, I hadn't typed it up yet because, this is stuff that just happened, but our storms that we went through Friday night into Saturday, the tornadic activity that happened local to us, we was luckily spared damage in Cherokee Village, other than just a few tree limbs down. I want to thank the street department, the police department, fire department for what they did getting out, and they come out, checked roads and stuff. They took care of the village, and when we found out everything was good in the village, they volunteered to go help some of the surrounding areas, Ash Flat, Cave City, Highland, that had damage. We went out and helped and volunteered to try to get the roads cleaned up so emergency services could be restored. I really want to thank them for that. Everybody did a good job. We just really need to keep. There was a lot of, and then the windstorm that come through yesterday actually caused more damage in the village than the tornado did because of the power outages. I had a phone call from the area manager for Entergy last night about 9:30, and he wanted to tell me that because of the extreme fire danger in our area, he said that Entergy has put in place that before they turn the electricity back on, the entire area that's, I can't remember what he called it, but he called it the area affected by the power outage. He said before they can turn the power back on, he said they have to visually check all the areas to make sure there's no trees, because they've had trees getting against the lines and they're causing the fires that can get out of control. So he said until we're out of this extreme fire danger, he said when we have a power outage, it's probably going to take somewhat longer to get the power restored, because they have to visually check all of the lines for hanging trees. So, and with that being said, I know by the time this gets out, we may be past it. Let's hope we get rain this weekend. But we need to be very cautious and aware with the extreme fire danger and high winds and extraordinary low humidity that the area is experiencing right now, that the least little bit of spark can set a large fire, as what they've had in the outlying parts of the county overnight into today. So please be careful. I actually I agree with the fire chief's post that I don't know, as dry as it is and windy and low humidity, I would almost hold off even mowing the grass, because a spark from a rock on a lawnmower blade could set a fire that can get out very easily. So just be very cautious. Oh. So with that being said, that's all you got to listen to me on that tonight. Any of the department heads have anything to add to your reports? No, everybody's been working hard. Animal control had a incident a couple of nights ago that they come out and handled. I want to thank you for coming out and handling that and getting it taken care of along with the police department. So thank you all for doing that and taking care of that. I know you got a very overwhelming job to do. It's when you got over 300 miles of road and 3,500 houses and over 5,000 population of people, and we have 2 people plus the volunteers. I'm not leaving out the volunteers, but the city has 2 people and the volunteers, and so that, with that being said, without the volunteers helping, and I'm talking not only animal control but the fire department volunteers and the police department volunteers, it would be hard for this city to function. We greatly appreciate the volunteers helping.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
you have your proclamation.
I do. Oh, and I get to do my annual proclamation, "The Kids to the Park." It says, the City of Cherokee Village Proclamation, Kids to the Park. Whereas May 17th, 2025 is the 10th Kids to Parks Day, organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the 3rd Saturday of May, and whereas Kids to the Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit America's parks and public lands and waters, and whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors, and now, therefore, I, Stephen R. Rose, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of Cherokee Village, State of Arkansas, proclaim May 17, 2025 as Kids to Park Day in Cherokee Village. So, bring them to the city parks. And I will say that with the nice weather days, I do enjoy personal time when I get to take a lunch and get out. I'll go out to the pavilion and stuff, and it's the park out there, that Toll High Trail, is very utilized. There's the kids, parents. They're out there walking, playing on the playground equipment. So it's good to see it serving its purpose. Well, we can get into the old business. Said Miss Pam give us a list of was asked to get a list, and we received a list of the A&P members. Want to read them off, or they're on? You can read them off if you want to.
Pamela Rowland as a city council member, Jason Lowe as a city council member, Patrick Steen as the owner of a business, Ellen Walton as an owner-manager of a business, James Gilly as an owner-manager of a business, Jonathan Rhodes, owner-manager of a business, and Julie Decker is the member-at-large.
Thank you, Miss Pamela.
No problem.
Old business number 2 is the fire station lease update. Has everybody looked at the the paper I get, that's laying out here for you, it's the cost breakdown of what it is to show the nominal fee. I asked Miss Betsy, the general manager of SID, to attend tonight's meeting to answer questions that was had. So if you wouldn't mind, if you don't care to approach and just, for the record, state your name and position, and we can get into the questions.
Betsy Waugh, General Manager, Suburban Improvement District.
I'll start off by saying that I know some questions, and myself and Miss Betsy and the fire chief has talked about this. There'll be some questions raised because of the lawsuit settlement, which says that the city can enter into a lease agreement for a nominal sum. Well, a nominal sum in the state of Arkansas is always known to be either $0 or $1. You know, so this is where, this is what it's costing SID to insure the properties, which comes to the $7,909. So that's, I mean, the nominal sum, that's the, if they was to mark it up by $1,000, that wouldn't be considered a nominal sum, but because it's just the same, that's the nominal sum part of it. So, if anybody,
Mayor, I think it would be easier, I know we talked a lot about this and went through it on Monday night's meeting, but it might be easier, like what I did is I just went through the lease and made my notes. If all council members have looked through it and made their notes, if we just pass that to you, and then you guys can go from there? Or come back with something else that kind of answers everyone's questions or concerns or how they'd like to see it, and,
okay, I mean, that's totally up to you, whatever you.
I mean, it's council's discretion if you guys want to
Yeah.
go through this page by page, or do you just want to, has everybody made their notes and their
Would you
concerns?
be willing to split it into nominal fee and then second half being what you need for insurance? So I don't think we'd have a problem if it were two separate things, but since it's one thing,
May I make a suggestion?
yeah.
Why don't y'all go through the leases like Pamela said, compile? We'll send that to the attorney, let them review it, and then they'll be able to give us a reply. You know, basically today, I can just give you the facts that that was the lease that was put together. Our attorneys did the research to say that that met the settlement agreement of a nominal fee. We didn't ask for 1 penny more than what the actual cost was. We provided documentation to show that. This wasn't a surprise. This was something that we all knew was coming. So if there's changes or questions or things that you would like to see in the lease, I would suggest that we do that in writing instead of trying to go back and forth, because I may not have the answers that you need. They put the lease together, so
Yeah.
that would be way more efficient with
Wouldn't
our
do that.
time.
So if the council members want to put a list of questions together, and I'll compile it into a single email, and I'll forward it to Miss Betsy, and,
I've got mine, I'll pass it down.
okay. We'll just do it that way, it'll be easier that way. I thank
Thank
you
you.
for being here, Miss Betsy.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
And Mayor, you've already made notes of the stuff we agreed on at the working meeting. You've made
Yes.
those notes, so we don't have to repeat
No.
that? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't forget already. Okay. Now here's moving into the new business. And here's the part that we don't like about happens at the first of every year. I received, February 1st, we received our notification of CPI from the Waste Connections. Consumer Pricing Index, right? Yep. Consumer Pricing Index. They're calculating, they went up a total of 3.11% on their residential trash collection, which is about $2.02 per unit per quarter. So like everybody, you know, it's like we say, we don't like it when they go up, but it's like everybody going up, we don't have much of a choice in it. Now, the contract is to the end of this year. Yes. The contract is to the end of this year, and we'll be renegotiating, if need be, a new contract with Waste Connections, or something, but this particular contract we're in is up at the end of this year.
But Cherokee Village does still hold their discount.
Yes, we
And that was
still.
part of our original contract. So we still get our discount.
We
but
do.
It's just,
Is it 10?
10%, I
Yes,
believe, yeah.
10%. We get 10% discount. And, but like I said, everything's going up. Seems like that's all we got letters about this year is everything, about the price increases on everything. And that being said, also, the landfill, just to let everybody know, the landfill, the tipping rates at the landfill is going to go up 6.6%. So if you have anything you haul to the landfill, expect to, if you take it out there to haul it in, the prices have went up at the landfill. It's just their yearly, part of the contract too, that the Waste Connection contract we had, what is built into it is a 5% max CPI, which up until last year was the only year they've used the 5% max. They've tried to keep it, you know, pretty low. I mean, 2 and 3%. But now last year was the only year they've used. Well, since I've been mayor, that I could find in researching, was the only year they've used the 5% max. So they've tried to keep it as low as they can. I will say that.
hopefully the increase at the landfill doesn't cause more dumping within
Yeah.
Cherokee.
And that's
especially
true,
from-
and that's something I really feel bad. I didn't give credit to Charlie and his bunch, because they really spent, we had some, community service workers and some, jail, inmate help. And, they spent a week cleaning up dump sites. They spent a week cleaning up dump sites. They hauled off quite a few, and one of the things that really caught me this time when they was hauling dump sites off is apparently some people are changing their shingles out on their roofs, and they're not taking the shingles to the dump. Instead, they're dumping them on the side of our streets. Because there was a lot of shingles this year. They had, that was one of the, it was really, you know, each year you get a little, it's kind of weird. You'll see a trend of something. You know, last year was tires, this year is shingles. It's like a majority of what they carried off this year was shingles. So, if you see dumping going on, please call City Hall, because I mean, like I said, there's 300 miles of road, and it's hard to get on all of them. So if we very much depend on the public to be our eyes and let us know what's going on, and we'll get it on the list and get it taken care of. We have a short-term special use permit, the Art Center of North Arkansas. The music at the gazebo is starting. When is it starting, Miss Penny? Yeah, I don't have it right in front.
May 15th to June 12th.
May 15th through June 12th. Again.
5:30 to 7:30.
I would ask them to do one thing on the third Thursday of the month, if they could try and get acoustic stuff there, because some of the other times they've had amplified people, we can hear them banging through the back of the building when we're having a meeting.
Oh,
I can't hear them banging through
And
the
if you-
building.
and if you get a chance, please come out. It's a neat deal, and they got some good local talents that play out there. And then sometimes the art centers actually brings out some food vendors, so you'll have vendors there. So please come out and support them.
Make a
What was
motion to
the-
accept the,
Sorry, what was the time on that again?
5:30 to 7:30.
Thank you.
Yeah.
make a motion to accept the special use permit.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Ishmael to accept the 2025-04 short-term special use permit, Art Centers of North Arkansas Music at Gazebo. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you. And new business number 4, as I said, the story of the night, everything's going up. I thought I had it laying here in front of me. I know But our laser finch that we use, they're going up, what is it?
5%.
Yeah, it's 5% in July. So another price increase that we, I said everything's increasing. Except the money coming in.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly. But and then again, it's a double-edged sword. The more stuff costs, the more sales tax you pay. So it's a double-edged sword. But that's actually all the new business. I know I didn't get it on the agenda, but I wish if the council doesn't mind, I was going to try to upgrade one of the street. I want to replace one of the street department trucks. One of their main trucks that they use to pull the excavator, or I keep saying excavator, skid steer and stuff. It's a 30-year-old truck. It's a 2-wheel drive truck. It was a truck that was bought through state surplus at Little Rock, so it wasn't in the best condition when it was bought 10 years ago, and I've kind of been looking. I found what I'd like to replace it with is a 1-ton 4-wheel drive truck, because that would be another truck we could put a snowplow on, and I could retire another one of our 25-year-old snowplow trucks that gives us problems.
And that was a 2-wheel drive.
Yeah, the one they're using now is a 2-wheel drive, so it's unuseful. But what I've been looking at is mostly I found one on the internet for that's at a car lot for $26,000. So I'm just going to kind of let you know I was going to try to stay in no more than I was going to try to stay around the $25,000 to $26,000 mark. The one I found it's a 2011 model Ford F-350 4-wheel drive, but it's got 46,000 miles on it. It's got a work body on it, so something like that's kind of what I was looking. And we can use. They got their street turnback money, which they got. I mean, he's got money in it to cover. I mean, we can use the street turnback money to buy a street vehicle. So I mean, if we got one, we can. He's definitely got the money to get it. So I'm just gonna let you know, maybe by next meeting, I'll have some particulars on something, and we can maybe make a decision on it. Other than that, that's all that I have.
Mayor, in comments, I was gonna say something about the Village Pride cleanup,
Yes.
April 5th.
April 5th.
But I have a question now I was just gonna make an announcement, but did they need to get a short-term permit for that or not? Okay, so they're cool on it?
Yes.
Okay, I was just gonna make a couple announcements on some dates for
Go for it.
April.
Go for
April 5th, 9 o'clock, Village Pride Cleanup, that's where you meet at King Road's parking lot for donuts and coffee. You get your gear, you head out and come back for lunch. That's April 5th, Saturday. And possibly there's a city cleanup not far from that. Do you know that, Penny?
Yeah.
The following Saturday, April 12th? Okay.
Yeah, citywide.
At the-
9 to 3, I think that one is.
Yeah.
And April 26th is Pie Fest at
Oh, yeah.
Town Center to support Innovation Hub and the STEAM program, which is science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics.
And this is
April 26th.
and this the 5th year.
Yes, 5th year.
Yeah, 5th year.
Yeah.
And it's state sanctioned.
We're trying to
State
get,
sanctioned pie judging contest.
right.
Hey, that's a very good thing. People need to.
Arkansas State desserts pie.
Yes, we like our pie. Thank you, Miss Heather. Any questions or comments on the city business that was handled? Yes, Mr. Fire Chief.
Also, we'll have an Easter egg hunt on Easter Day, April 20th. I would suggest everyone be there at 1:45 because we sound the horn for them to hunt eggs at 2 o'clock. So
Easter Fire Department Easter egg hunt at Base Art Fire Department on April.
April
on April 20th. Yep.
1:45.
Be there at 1:45. You have any questions, you can call City Hall or call the fire station.
Got two things.
All right.
I'd first like to apologize to Pam. I got a little cranky earlier and I shouldn't have. And second thing is I motion to adjourn.
I accept your apology. I return one as well, but y'all know how I get when you,
Oh, I know exactly.
Okay.
I know you pretty well, and
Okay.
I shouldn't have done that.
Second the motion.
Any questions, comments? All in favor of adjourning? All opposed? Motion accepted. Thank you
Well, it
all.
wasn't 15, it was 30.
So what did I miss?
Oh, I see. That was me being old.
Sorry about being late.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Rachel.
We got 10:22, 3/4 of the way there, so
Eh.
we dropped